Hey guys, today I want to talk about assimilating in the Philippines. Assimilating in the Philippines can be a rough thing for some Americans. What happens is this, is a lot of Americans come over and think that the Filipinos are the ones that are supposed to assimilate to them. And it's quite the opposite, trust me. And you will learn your lesson if you think that way. And for me, when I first come over here, I knew it wasn't about them assimilating to me. It was me assimilating to them. And it's a hard thing to do. You can get them to assimilate to some things, to you being in the neighborhood and things like that. But for the most part, you're going to be assimilating to the way they live. And you need to learn that quick. The assimilation here is a lot of things. You have to assimilate to the weather. You have to assimilate to the people, the foods, the lifestyle, the culture, and many other things. The biggest thing to assimilate for many people is the culture, the way they live, their mannerisms, and it's kind of hard and difficult sometimes. And you got the out of stock the management style is totally different in restaurants and places. And you're also, when you go into some supermarkets like SM, you get encircled by a whole group of people trying to help you, and often it overwhelms a lot of expats here. For me, when I go into SM and 10 people circle me, can I help you, sir? Can I help you, sir? It overwhelms me and I just get up and walk out because I don't like that. It makes me feel uncomfortable when 10 people are encircling me and I'm just looking at a pair of socks. You know, it's just it gets kind of annoying. But anyway, I want to talk about this a little bit in detail because I think it's something that we should all talk about. You guys can leave your comments on there, obviously. But I noticed that a lot of people that they come here and the first thing we always deal with is where we live, because we move into a place and it's like, geez, did I make a mistake picking this spot? Did I really pick the right spot here? Because the noise level, the speakers, the people, the guy playing the drums next door, or the music from across the street. It could be anything. It could be loud neighbors, karaoke, a dog barking, roosters. There's a lot of things, and we all have that in this neighborhood to a certain extent, and some of it we learn to live with, but some of it we just kind of let it go because we know that the next day will be quiet or pretty much quiet or whatever, and that's okay. We have to be more understanding and understand that sometimes we have to let people live their lives too, because we're in their country. We're in their country. They didn't come to our country. We came to their country, and we have to live by their rules, kind of. Now, there are ways of dealing with things if things get out of control or something like that. And yes, we've talked about that in the past many times. And I'll tell you, sometimes you have to do that. But one of the big things here I notice is that the expats come in here and they just kind of have like this condescending attitude, like they have to teach everybody something. And sometimes you're not going to teach them. In fact, they're going to teach you. They're going to teach you that they're not going to change their ways. It's just the way things work around here. When I first came here, I tried to change a few things around the neighborhood. I was lucky because I was able to do it. I was able to get things moving, change things, and people worked with me, helped me. They were very helpful. But I notice a lot of the other expats that come in here and they're too gung-ho. You have to take it in stride and over time. You can't change everything here in a day. It's impossible. You cannot change everything here in a day. It's just not the way it happens. If you work with people little by little, slowly, over time things will change. If you keep trying to work with them, sometimes you can teach them, but it's a slow process. I notice when I went into McDonald's a long time ago, and they kept screwing up my order. And every time I'd have the same lady, and I'd order the same thing. And I'm out now almost 5 years, and that lady's been there all that time. And at the McDonald's here, every time I go there, when I get that lady, sure as hell, she screws up my order. Every time. It's almost like you would think it's on purpose, but it's not. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? I just know that every time I go in there, my order gets screwed up. Somehow they give me more of something. I look on my order and it's like, oh man, she charged me for 2 Cokes. She knows I'm all alone here. She charged me for extra French fries or whatever, or another meal or whatever. And my order comes over, and I always, she reads it back, but when she reads it back, it's like, it's okay. But when I get it, it's messed up. And I always think that when I get back to the table, everything will be okay. I never really check the receipt, even though I should be. So I started checking the receipts recently, and then I started correcting right there. Hey, look, you got me on here twice for 2 French fries, or hey, you got me on here for this here, for that there. It's like some people just don't learn here. I'm not sure if it's a cultural thing or if it's a language barrier or what it is, but that part of assimilating for me has been the hardest. To assimilate to the mistakes. To assimilate to those mistakes is very difficult sometimes. Sometimes you go into hardware stores or something like that. You tell them what you're looking for, and they bring you over to something totally different. And you kind of stand there scratching your head. And it's like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. So you walk away and you start looking around to try to find what you're looking for. It was like, sir, can I help you? Like what are you looking for exactly? I just told you, and you brought me to the wrong place. So I'll find it myself. Don't worry. No, sir. No. I'll find it myself. I really will. Sometimes you just kind of have to just be like that. You have to kind of like understand that, you have to kind of take care of things yourself sometimes here. It's just part of the way of living over here. I've kind of learned to take the bull by the horns and just do my own thing and figure out things on my own. It's the best way to do it sometimes. Sometimes people here, the help that they give you when they surround you at like a SM mall, like I was talking about earlier, it's annoying. And their manager should tell them that there should be no more than 2 or 3 people on to one person. When I walk into SM and I got 10 people on top of me, literally, all asking me, you need help, sir? Well, how can I help you? Sir, you looking for a pair of glasses? What are you looking for? No, I'm looking for a pair of socks. I think I can find them on my own. It's not a big deal. No, sir, what type of socks are you trying to find? The type that I'm looking for. I haven't found them yet, but I'm looking to see what you have. Okay, what brand, sir? I'm not looking for a particular brand. I'm looking for whatever, you know what I mean? And it's annoying as all hell sometimes because you just want to do your shopping. You want to kind of look around. And when I go shopping as a man, I sometimes just go in there, grab what I want and leave. And that's all I want. I don't want anybody bothering me. I don't want anybody, harassing me, trying to force me into sales or whatever. And sometimes people can't understand that. And whereas like a woman will go shopping and they're okay with those people helping them and surrounding them or whatever, and they're all right with that. But for me, I'm not okay with that. I like to be left alone or just have like one person helping me if I do need help. And a lot of times that can be annoying for expats. Expats that are here, you have to remember, we're older, we're grumpier, and we get angrier quicker. And a lot of the people over here look at us like, well, we're grumpy old men. And I understand that because a lot of times we are. A lot of the guys that I see here, and they're great guys with me, but they lose it sometimes with Filipinas or whatever. And I've tended to be in that same boat sometimes myself. I get angry sometimes or what have you. And it's part of assimilating. I've lightened up a lot in my 5 years here. I've kind of let a lot more things go, or I avoid situations. I avoid going to Filipino restaurants. I go to more American-style restaurants. I notice I get better service. I think the training at the American restaurants, such as Texas Roadhouse, TGI Fridays, all those places, 99 and 9/10 of the time, I get the right order. They don't mess up. They don't screw up my order. It's really a training issue. But at McDonald's, man, I go to one particular McDonald's in town here because it's at the mall, and then I use another one in town here too at Tower Mall in Tracy Martinez. And the difference between the two is so great because one of them has never ever screwed up my order at the Tower Mall, and the one at the SM Tracy has screwed up my order almost 90% of the time, 80% of the time. They've screwed up my order. No matter what it is, they've screwed it up. It's amazing that they can screw up an order that much. But I'm not the only one. It's all Americans that walk in there seem to have that same complaint. Most of the time they get their order screwed up. Okay, now I can't speak for everybody, but the ones that I've talked to have said the same thing. They says, whenever I go into that mall, they always mess up my order. They always give me the wrong thing. They always give me too much of something. They always give me 2 orders of something or whatever. And that's the truth. It's the truth here. But it's part of assimilating. You know, and you need to correct them too on things like that when they make mistakes like that. Just tell them, say, look, I didn't order this. Well, sir, we read it back to you, but you didn't read that back to me. That wasn't what you read back to me. It wasn't. And I listen. I'm a good listener. I pay attention to detail and stuff like that. And I'm not sure why that stuff happens. It just does. The other thing here is heat. I'm sitting here in the sun right now. It's hot, but we have a nice cool breeze here. You have to assimilate to the heat. It's going to take you a good 6 months to a year to get used to that. And really never, ever get used to the really hot, sticky, humid, tropical days that you have here. You just never get used to it. And part of that is using things like I've talked about, like the air conditioner and neck fan, where it has the neck cooling things, the Peltier effect on your neck, and it feels like ice cubes on your neck. That helps a lot. Fans, taking air-conditioned buses, staying in air conditioning, having a cabana that's cool, maybe with a fan out in it or something to keep you cooler. That's all part of assimilating. It helps you kind of take it down a notch so that you don't have to worry that much. But living in houses here, we've gone over that many times. Make it yours. Make it comfortable to your level with the AC, with fans, with the paint. Use the anti-chalking paint. I'm going to talk about a lot of this stuff because a lot of the stuff we've already covered a lot. But I want to talk about that because it's really important that the home that you make for yourself fits your lifestyle and is in your comfort zone. If a small house is not your thing and you can't live in it, it's cheap enough that you can go out and get a bigger one here in the Philippines. It really is. So get what you want, what fits you. But remember, you also have to furnish that place because most places are unfurnished. And if you're moving into a house that's furnished, you don't know who's been living there before, what their lifestyle was, what kind of bugs they had. Whereas if you go in there and it's unfurnished, at least you know when you put the furniture in there what was there before and how clean it was. Make sure there's no places for rats, mice, pests, stuff like that to get into your house. Take care of yourself. Look out for things that could be a potential hazard in the future, like a place where ants and bugs are going to come in. Make sure that the roof's not going to leak. Make sure your ceiling's in good shape. You're going to have to fix up some things in your house. Sometimes your landlord will fix it. Sometimes they won't. So make sure you're going to get your money's worth out of it if you are going to fix something up. If you have to put a ceiling in or whatever in the back room, that's some stuff that you might have to do. It might cost you a few bucks. So it might mean that you have to live there a little while to get your money's worth out of the repairs that you do. And remember, for the repairs that you do, it's usually cheaper here than in the U.S. because in the U.S., manpower costs a lot, whereas over here it's extremely cheap. But guys, try to do your best at assimilating in the first 6 months. Try to get used to it. Try to learn the culture. Be more observant rather than opening your mouth sometimes and shooting your mouth off, because it makes us look bad as expats. Remember that. Keep your mouth quiet Keep your mouth quiet more, and it'll help you and it'll help all of us as expats here, and learn to just kind of watch things. Take notes. Take mental notes. You'll do a lot better in assimilation here. And God bless, guys. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I hope that helps you a little bit what to expect here. I think the biggest thing to assimilate is going to be for your weather and your home. Is if you pick a nice home and you're comfortable in it, that's where you're going to assimilate the most. Because when you go home and you have a place to rest and you feel comfortable, that's going to make you assimilate even faster. God bless, guys. Take care.